Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about process safety management or PSM. Imagine a large oil refinery or chemical plant handling flammable fuels and toxic chemicals under high pressure and temperature. In this environment, a single slip up can lead to a catastrophic fire, explosion, or toxic release. PSM is the framework we use to identify and control those hazards before disaster strikes. In simple terms, PSM is a systematic program to understand industrial process dangers and keep them in check. So we prevent major accidents that could harm workers, communities, or the environment. This is not just a paperwork exercise. It's about real people's safety and protecting the entire communities. So let's explore what PSM is, why it's so critical in high-risk industries when it's required, and how it works in practice. PSM stands for Process Safety Management. It's essentially a comprehensive safety management system for industrial processes that handle hazardous chemicals. Unlike general workplace safety like wearing hard hat or using harnesses, PSM focuses on preventing catastrophic accidents, the big ones like major explosion, fire, or toxic gas releases. It does this by providing a structured framework of practice and safeguards. Things like through engineering, design, clearing, operating procedures, regular maintenance, employee training, emergency plan, and more. All these elements work together so that even if one safeguard fails, others will catch the problem. Think of layer of safety like a slice of Swiss cheese overlapping to cover each other's hood. The ultimate goal is to keep processes within safe limits and stop disasters before they happen. Now the important question is, why is PSM especially critical in oil refining, petrochemicals, and similar industries? These are high-risk environments by nature. For example, an oil refinery deals with huge volume of flammable hydrocarbons and toxic gases under high pressure and temperature. If they get out of control, the consequences can be enormous. Beyond the usual slip and fall hazards, these complex processes have unique dangers that require specialized management. History gives us sobering reminders. In 1984, a leak of methyl isocyanate gas in Bhopal, India, killed thousands, underscoring the dire need for stringent process safety controls. More recently, the 2005 BP Texas City refinery explosion caused by a process upset killed 15 workers and injured 180 others. These disasters occurred because critical hazards weren't adequately controlled. Without robust PSM controls, accidents can quickly escalate and have devastating consequences for workers, facilities, the environment, and surrounding communities. This is why PSM is not just a legal formality. It's truly a life-saving approach in high-hazard industries. Now we know what PSM is, and we have to answer to another important question. Who is required to implement PSM? In the United States, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, has a regulation called Process Safety Management of Highly Hazardous Chemicals. OSHA PSM standard mandates that facilities must have a PSM program if their processes involve certain hazardous chemicals above a specific amount. There are two main triggers for OSHA PSM coverage. The first required condition is large quantities of flammable gases or liquids. If you have 10,000 pounds or more of flammable liquid or gas in a single process, you fall under the PSM rule. Think of common flammables like propane, butane, methane, gasoline, and other. OSHA defined flammable liquid as those with a flash point below 100 degree Fahrenheit. 10,000 pounds is roughly 4,500 kilograms, about the weight of a school bus. So it's not an impossibly high amount. A medium-sized propane storage tank or a large natural gas process can reach that. For example, a fuel distribution facility with a 12,000 pound propane tank would exceed this threshold. When that much flammable material is in one place, the potential energy in an accident is huge, so PSM is required to manage the risk. OSHA has a few exceptions here. If the flammable fuels are used purely for workplace consumption, say you have propane only to heat the building in winter, or if it's at a retail gas station, or if flammables are stored in certain atmospheric tank below their boiling point, those might be exempt. But any process handling more than 10,000 pounds of flammable for production or storage is generally covered. The second condition is cases listed as highly hazardous chemicals or HHC about their threshold. OSHA also published a list of Appendix A of PSM standard for specific toxic and reactive chemicals over 113 substances that each with its own threshold quantity or TQ. If you have any one of those chemicals at or above its threshold amount in a process, you must implement PSM. Many of these thresholds are much lower than 10,000 pounds because the chemicals are extremely dangerous even in small quantities. For example, chlorine gas, commonly used in water treatment, has a threshold of 1,500 pounds. Ammonia, common in large refrigeration system, has a threshold of 10,000 pounds, the same as the flammable threshold. Hydrogen sulfide H2S, a toxic gas, is 1,500 pounds, and some chemicals have very low thresholds. Methyl isocyanate, the chemical involved in bhopal, triggers PSM at only 250 pounds because even a few hundred pounds can pose catastrophic danger. So if say a plant uses chlorine in a process and the maximum amount on site is 2,000 pounds, that process must comply with PSM rules. Or if a pharmaceutical factory has 300 pounds of methyl isocyanate in a reactor, PSM applies. Essentially, any facility that stores or uses a highly hazardous chemical above its OSHA listed threshold must implement the full PSM safety program. These triggers capture a wide range of industries. It's not just oil refineries or chemical plants. For instance, a municipal water treatment plant storing large chlorine cylinders, a food processing plant with big ammonia refrigeration system, or a manufacturing plant using large quantities of flammable solvents would all be PSM covered if they exceed the limits. The rule is deliberately broad. If the worst-case release of your chemical could create a disaster, OSHA wants you to have PSM. This approach stems from lessons learned many tragic accidents like Bhopal, could have been prevented if proper safety management was in place for those hazardous inventory.